The first thing that we're going to do, let's just pretend that we've done all of our analysis and we don't have a blank trading view. Let's just pretend, for the sake of the example, we have done more analysis and we're not just using TPO charts on their own, but let's just pretend right now we have done our other bits of analysis and now we're moving on to the TPO portion of the analysis. Okay. So first thing that we're going to be doing is saying to ourselves, okay, which range are we in right now? Because obviously I think the first thing you're going to want to do is start off by merging the current range that you're trading within. Okay, so we can really start on let's say the daily time frame. Okay, I think we all know the answer by now, but I'll just emphasize it for, you know, educational reasons. Which range are we trading in right now? Well, you all know this one by now. It's obviously, this is the bigger range that we're trading in. So if we just mark this is how I like to mark the charts. Just put this in white, and this can be white equals, you know, bigger, higher term time frame box. So we know within the daily profile or the weekly profile, however you want to, you know, the highest term time frame that we're going to be looking at, we are within this range, starting obviously around the 19th of May to the current day. Okay, so that's the bigger range that obviously we would start off by merging. As we all know, there's a little bit of a problem with Exocharts where it's not going to go, I'm pretty sure that it's not going to go back this far. So as we all know, what happens if you want to merge the range all the way back to the 19th, sorry, around the 18th of May, and Exocharts doesn't go back this far? Let's just see. We've been asking Varane to add it, so has he added it? No, okay, no, it's still not going back all the way. Slight, obviously frustrating, but there's nothing we can do about it, so we just move on. So we obviously would have liked to go back to the 19th of May. So what are we going to do in this situation? Well, we've got a range which is, in this regards, high term time frame range of 57 days. We cannot go back 57 days. So what's the first thing that we're going to do? Well, two things that we could do really. Number one would be log off of Exocharts, log on to Sierra Charts and get the range. That's one thing that you could do. The second thing that you can do is really simply, although not preferred, obviously, but it's the only option that we're left with, and that is use the fixed range on TradingView. Okay, it's not the worst thing in the world, but obviously we prefer to use Exocharts. But because Exocharts doesn't go back this far, we have to use other methods. So, e.g., first thing you're going to want to write down, I suppose, is for the note taking, if you have a range longer that then goes back in Exocharts, either use Sierra Charts, use Atos, or just use TradingView. Again, this is only going to give us the volume profile portion, but that's all we can. TPO charts don't exist on TradingView. So yeah, this will give us our volume levels of the range. Okay, first thing we're obviously going to do is mark these out. So really simply, I'm going to bring you up from the start to the finish of this, of how we're going to get a trade. So first thing that we'd always do is mark out, okay, value area high of the volume. We're going to mark out the value area low of the volume range, of course, because we do not have the TPO profile volume levels. And we're obviously going to mark out the point of control. Now we've just put a little note. This is obviously off of the volume charts. We'll delete that, and then we will put this into a folder that's called high term time frame range. Okay, so this is our the highest term time frame levels that we have right now. Okay, so we can hide that for now. They're not needed for the next portion. So hide that. Okay, and now this is where it's going to be. I feel it gets more useful the smaller down we're going. So it's not that bad that we don't have the TPO values of the whole range right now. It's not overly important for what we're trading today. So moving on, where is the next range that we think that we're within right now? So we've just looked at the daily range. So let's bring it down to a 4-hour chart now. 4 hours is the next best, in my opinion, next best range to be looking at. So we've done the daily, pointless looking at the 12-hour. Let's drop it down to the 4-hour. So looking at this now, can you see the range that we're trading with, the range that we are trading within at the moment? Okay, for me, I know exactly where I'd pick. I'll give you 2 seconds to think. Where is the range that you would pick right now? Okay, I suppose there's 2 places that your eyes might have been drawn towards. Would your eyes be drawn towards this? Which I understand. You've obviously selected the last major high to the last major low. I totally understand that, but that is not where I would pull my data from? I would pull it from here. Okay. Why? Because, or hopefully you can kind of see visually why. Because although it wasn't a major high that was put in, this was the last area of consolidation before the drop. And then when we got the next rise on the 29th of June, it was tapped off by this high. And, we don't want to go too much into Fibonacci and stuff, but we all know that that was also into the CC. Okay. So, we don't need to be looking at data up here or before this, because we are literally capped right now within a range of CC resistance. Have a guess where the support is, into CC support. So, this was pretty much a perfect play where we had the resistance of the CC and the support of the CC. 2 trades in 2 weeks, and you've won them both. So with that in mind, that's how I am looking at the current range. So it's basically a CC range, but I'm actually going to be taking the data from, back where we had that last area of consolidation, really. So this is where, in my opinion, the range starts. So what we're going to do then, that brings us to around the 18th, 19th of June. So with that, we obviously can start to actually now get a merged profile of this. Why are we merging these profiles to the 19th of June? Because that is the new range. We obviously had our white box to highlight the daily range. What we can do now is say, okay, we are going to be looking at this section of the chart. And we can just, for color coordination, let's just say we're going to put this in yellow. Okay, doesn't have to really matter what color it is. This is just for the example's sake. We're going to mark this in yellow, and this is the range that this is the start of the range that we're actually trading from. So it's obviously important to get these levels correct. So we want to merge this now. And this is going to give us a trade by the end of the stream. But obviously this is the thing, trading, the analysis portion of the, how many days do we want to go back? A little tip for you, if you just hold control, drag back, we want to go back 25 days. Okay. Oh no, sorry. Let's just do this on the daily chart. Easier tip, go on the daily chart, hold control. Yeah, we want to go back 25 days. Okay. So in theory, this should work, but I think it's unlikely that it does. We type in merge X 25. This in theory should go back 25 days. Does it work? Let's see. No. Okay, no, it didn't work. So this is the frustrating thing. You have to obviously make sure it's going back the right amount of days. So we'll just try our luck, type in 10 again. And now we're back to the 19th of June. So there we go. That's perfect. So what we'll do now is take off the sessions, make it a little bit cleaner. Okay. What's the first thing that we're noticing here? We're noticing that there's a lot of time spent here because we've got the time. So we're noticing, first thing I notice is the discrepancy, time point of control is here. The volume point of control is here. The value areas are basically the exact same. Yeah, so the value areas are extremely similar, but the volume and the time point of controls are different. The first thing that I'm going to do is mark out the levels. So bear with me while I do this a second. So we have the, and remember, I always mark the furthest out. So actually, we have the time value area low as the lowest level here. That's obviously, even for me, this is difficult to read. So I know for all of you, it's going to be even harder. 32,387. I'm just going to have to zoom in because it's really hard to see. Oh man, I can hardly read this. 32,387. It's difficult to read. So value area low of now the local range. $32,387. I'm going to zoom out. Value area high. Again, this value area high of the volume is extremely close, but I'm going to go for the furthest out level to get the precise level without having to mess around here. We can just go into here, tick this, and you see that just switched to 34,973. No, 34,937. 34,937. So let's mark that out for the value area high. 34937, 34937. Okay, so we got 2 point of control. So I am going to mark both of these.